We all know the story by now. 4 ordinary turtles were exposed to chemicals which caused them to transform into giant humanoid turtles. Named after popular Renaissance painters, these 4 turtles were trained in the martial arts by their surrogate father, a rat-slash-human hybrid known as Master Splinter. Together, the 4 brothers, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael, battle the forces of the villainous Shredder and his evil minions, the Foot Clan. These heroes in a half-shell are better known as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Turtles phenomenon started off as an independent comic book created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird in 1984. The comic was a hit, and in 1987 a pilot for an animated series based on this property ran in syndication as a 5-part miniseries. The show was considerably different from the darker toned comics, and the dialogue and violence were turned down quite a bit to make the series more suitable for family entertainment. The Turtles were also given color-coded headbands and a belt with their initial on it in order to help tell them apart, as the Turtles in the original comics all wore red headbands. The miniseries was well received and the show began its original run in 1988, becoming one of the most popular animated cartoons in television history. The Turtles were everywhere. There were action figures, breakfast cereals, live-action movies, shampoo, lunchboxes, and even a concert tour. I loved it all. I mean, I could have done without the concert tour, but I couldn't get enough of the Turtles. So imagine how I felt as a gamer and a huge Ninja Turtles fan when I first saw the Ninja Turtles arcade game. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the arcade game was a 4-player side-scrolling beat-em-up released exclusively to arcades in 1989. The first time I stumbled across this game I was at the local mall with my parents. As we passed the arcade I heard a familiar sound, Cowabunga! And when I turned in the direction of the arcade and saw the Ninja Turtles arcade cabinet in all of its glory, I just knew I had to play it. I begged my parents for money and was elated when my mother almost magically produced an arcade token. Once I started playing, I was blown away. This game perfectly captured the look and feel of the classic animated series, and I felt like I was controlling a character in the actual cartoon. Now, while my single token only gave me a few minutes of gameplay, it was enough time for me to fall in love with this cabinet. Anytime I would come across this title, I would play it, and eventually ended up defeating the final boss and completing the game. Unfortunately, the only way to play this game at the time was in the arcade, but in 1990 a port of this title was released for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. And while the graphics weren't as good as the arcade, and only 2 players could play simultaneously, programmers did a great job adapting this game to the system. Plus, it also had 2 bonus levels that did not appear in the arcade version, which added quite a bit to the gameplay. In 1991, a sequel to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtles in Time was released to arcades, and it featured the same 4-player beat-em-up action that made the original so much fun. A near-perfect port of this title was released for the Super Nintendo, and a remixed version of Turtles in Time called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Hyperstone Heist was released for the Sega Genesis in 1992. This game had different levels, but the graphics and gameplay were almost identical to Turtles in Time, allowing Genesis owners to have their own Ninja Turtles beat-em-up. The Turtles arcade games were staples of my childhood, and thanks to Arcade 1-Up, I can still experience the magic of these games in the arcade by playing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Countercade. This machine is a smaller version of the Arcade 1-Up TMNT cabinet, which I don't own due to space restrictions, but the Countercade is a fantastic option for gamers who don't have enough room for the larger cabinet. Now, while there were quite a few games based on the Heroes in a Half Shell since the arcade game was released in 1989, none of them managed to capture the joy I felt playing the original arcade games. Until now. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge is an absolutely gorgeous throwback beat-em-up developed by Tribute Games and published by Dotemu. This game is inspired by the 1987 animated series of the same name, and the look and gameplay of this title is very similar to the classic Turtles arcade games by Konami. Players select some of the most popular characters from the cartoon and battle the Shredder and his minions throughout 16 levels of side-scrolling action. Selectable characters include Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, April O'Neil, Master Splinter, and a fan-favorite unlockable character. All of these characters play a little bit differently due to them having unique attributes, super moves, and taunts, which helps add a bit of variety to the gameplay. And speaking of the gameplay, it is exactly what you would expect from a side-scrolling Turtles beat-em-up, and then some. Each level has players battling through hordes of the Shredder's minions before reaching a boss battle at the end of each stage. backgrounds have lots of objects to interact with, and there are quite a few Easter eggs for hardcore fans of the animated series. Another aspect that this title has in common with the Konami games is the ability to grab up to 5 friends for simultaneous multiplayer action. The option to play this title with friends ups the fun factor of this already awesome experience considerably, and players will need all the help they can get when the screen fills with enemies. Shredder's Revenge features 2 different gameplay modes, Arcade Mode and Story Mode. Arcade Mode is just like the classic cabinets of old, as players have a limited number of lives and must complete the game in one sitting. Story Mode has the same levels and gameplay as Arcade Mode, but it also has optional challenges, side quests, and collectibles. Players navigate a Super Mario Bros. 3 type map and can replay any level they have previously completed to pick up any collectibles they've missed, adding a little bit more depth to an already incredible game. Where this title truly shines is in the visuals department. The pixelated art style is absolutely gorgeous, and the character animations and overall attention to detail are some of the best features of this game. The backgrounds are full of humorous enemy animations and a ton of Easter eggs for fans of the original series, and the turtles are not just 4 versions of the same character wearing different color headbands, they are all unique and have animations that capture their personality. The end of stage bosses are just as fun to see, as every encounter is different and every one of the turtles' opponents gets to showcase a bit of their personality as well. The audio of this game is also a standout, as it features not only voice acting from the original cast of the 1987 animated series, but an amazing soundtrack as well. The music has quite a variety of different styles from different artists, including a song by a few members of a very popular group that plays at a specific point in the game that I'm not going to spoil here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is, in my opinion, the best game of 2022 so far. The gameplay manages to avoid being as repetitive as many other beat-em-ups by adding quite a bit of personality to the characters, villains, and background, and this game is a blast to play with friends. This title made me feel like a kid again, and I enjoyed every second I spent with this game. Whether you're a Turtle fan or not, I highly recommend checking this title out. It is available now digitally, and a physical edition will be available July 31st, 2022. There is also a special collector's edition that comes with tons of bonus content. And if this isn't enough of the Heroes in a Half Shell for you, Konami is re-releasing 13 of their classic games on the Cowabunga collection. This greatest hits package will be available on multiple platforms later in 2022.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Man, I love being a turtle.
It is an awesome time to be a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and this compilation is an absolute must-have. Till next time, Cowabunga.